Demo 33 is also a countdown to a future date. It's got a condensed production code from the one we did previously. 33.html. Let's go over the web page code quickly. We have our doc type declaration. There's our opening and closing HTML tags. There's our opening and closing head tags. In the head, we've got this link that links to this smiley face in the browser. It's called smile.ico. Here's a title, opening and closing title tag. Inside it says Demo 33, countdown to a future date, condensed production code, and that shows up right here next to the smiley face in the browser tab. Next we have a link that links us to an external style sheet called style.css, which we're using right here. Same style sheet I've been using for most of these recent videos. Then I've got a link to the external JavaScript, and that's named 33.js. That's how you link to that, and we will go over that at the end. We have a single function that clicking this light orange button, we're going to get an output on the face of the button and on the paragraph element below that's a darker orange. There's the end of the head, there's the beginning of the body. In the last video I had a couple of tags. One was called wrapper and one was called left. And the original style CSS has a style for wrapper and also a style for left, but these styles were based on the fact that I had anywhere between 3, 4, or 5 buttons with paragraphs, and so I had a demo that did multiple things. I'm only doing one demo at a time now with one button and one paragraph. So I needed to change the style for the wrapper and the left. So what I wound up doing is changing the name to wrapper 1, going to that external style sheet, going all the way to the bottom, and just creating a new style in the style sheet. There's the new style for wrapper 1. It's got a different width. For wrapper 1, it's a width of 90% when I'm only dealing with one button. And for multiple buttons, I had a minimum width of 700 pixels. A width of 94%, but a minimum width. And then instead of left, if I go back up, left, middle, right, and other had a width of 18% because I had so many buttons that were in those tags. This time I only have one button, one tag. So my left 1 tag has a width of 97%. So those are the only two changes that I made there. Here we've got a button, an ID of O. If you go to the style sheet and look up $O, you see I've got a style for $O. Background color of orange, border 10 pixels, orange or outset. And the button has an on-click event. On-click equals 1. So when we look at our 33.js JavaScript file, we're going to go over that function with the name of 1. The face of the button is everything in between the button tags. Countdown to a future date, condensed production code, break, dash. You look up here, countdown to a future date, condensed production code, a couple breaks, and a dash. The breaks skip down a couple lines. So there's your button. And underneath the button, we have a paragraph. Paragraph with an ID of demo 4, style equals display block, and inside the paragraph tags a couple dashes. So if you see the darker orange element over here with a couple of white dashes, that's that section. So demo 4 is for this, and the ID of demo 4 is for the paragraph, and the ID of O is for the button. There's the end of the left 1 tag, the end of the wrapper 1 tag, the end of the body, the end of the HTML. Alright, so that's all there is for the HTML file, web page file. Let's look at the JavaScript. Function 1. var snd underscore countdown equals new audio, and in parentheses and single quotes future date.mp3. I made an audio that says, let's count down to a future date. That's all that the mp3 does. So I took that and I set it to this variable so that the next line says snd underscore countdown dot play. This plays this mp3. At the same time, we get an alert box And the words, let's go ahead and click the button. I heard the MP3 of me reading, let's count down to a future date. I see the alert box with the words on it, let's count down to a future date. When I click OK, the lines 7 and 8 will execute. Sound underscore countdown will pause, and sound underscore countdown, the current time will be set to 0. So when I click the OK button to this alert box, we're going to get down to this particular line of code. Now, what happens here, here's my note that tells us what the next code is going to do. We're going to subtract the milliseconds since the reference date of the current moment from the milliseconds since the reference date of your target moment. So let's go try to go over this and understand what's happening. We're creating a new variable called Xmas, short for Christmas. So we use the var keyword Xmas, so we're creating that variable. We have the equal sign. On the right of the equal sign, we have a math problem. If you notice, there's a minus there. So we have everything to the left of the minus sign. We're creating a new date object, new date, and in parentheses and double quotes, we have December 25th, 2016, 7 o'clock in the morning. We use the dot operator to call the getTime method. So what that getTime method is going to do with the new date object of December 25th, 2016 is it's going to give us the milliseconds between January 1st of 1970 to December 25th of 2016. And then it's going to subtract a new date object, which is a new data object about now. It wants to get the time of milliseconds between January 1st, 1970 and now. So those two millisecond values are going to be subtracted from one another, and it's going to be put into the variable called Xmas. Next, we're going to get an alert box that shows us how many milliseconds Xmas is, and then we're going to tack on this sentence after that number. Are the milliseconds between now and Christmas? So I'm going to click the OK button, and both line 12 and line 14 are going to execute. So I click OK. This long number, which if I carefully read it, let's see, there's no commas here, so it makes it hard. 14,763,397,743 are the milliseconds between now and Christmas. Now when I click the OK button, lines 17 and 19 are going to execute. We're going to do the same thing, but now for New Year's. So var New Year's, we're creating a new variable called New Year's, equals, and we're going to do this math problem on the right-hand side. The math problem is going to be new date, January 1st, 2017 at midnight, dot get time, minus new date, dot get time. So however many milliseconds comes between January 1st, 1970 and January 1st, 2017, however many milliseconds that is, subtracted by how many milliseconds it took to get from January 1st, 1970 to today. That large milliseconds is going to go into New Year's, and we're going to get an alert box that's going to let us see just exactly how many milliseconds that is, and then we're going to tack on are the milliseconds between now and New Year's Day. Okay, so let's hit OK. And that new number is 15,342,902, wait a minute, I'm sorry, 15,342,902,763 are the milliseconds between now and New Year's Day. Click OK. That's going to take us down to line 23. Line 23 and line 25, one is going to be for Christmas, the other is going to be for New Year's. What we're going to do with that milliseconds number that we got for each of New Year's and Christmas, we're going to convert the milliseconds to days and round down. If time is important, you can specify that as well. No comma after the date, and colons separate the hours, minutes, and seconds. So now we're going to create yet another variable. This one is called var days till Christmas. We're going to set that equal to math floor. Math floor is going to do the rounding. It's going to take that millisecond value for Christmas, and it's going to divide it by 1,000. First, actually, all this multiplication is going to be done first, and then the value of Christmas will divide that we'll divide by whatever that is. 1000 stands for milliseconds, times 60, which stands for seconds, times 60, which stands for minutes, times 24, which stands for hours in a day. So a lot of times a division problem will give you a decimal answer. That's where math.floor comes in, because if you do end up with a decimal, math.floor is going to round down because we want a whole number integer to go into the days till Christmas variable. We're going to do the same thing for var days till New Year's equals math.floor, the value of New Year's divided by 1000 times 60 times 60 times 24. Alright, so now we have a value of days till Christmas and a value of days till New Year's. And here on line 29 and line 31, we're going to output that. So O, which is the ID for this button up here at the top, O.enter HTML equals the value of days till Christmas plus the words more days until Christmas, yay. And finally, demo4, which is the ID of the paragraph underneath, demo4.enter HTML equals days till New Year's plus more days until New Year's Day, yay. So I'm going to click this OK, and we're going to go ahead and do the last 4 lines of code. 170 more days till Christmas, yay, and 177 more days until New Year's Day, yay.